Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Game Chat. I'm your host, Chris. As always, joined by my co-host, Shaun.
Hi.
And welcoming back, John.
With a nice new haircut.
Yeah, he's spiffy.
Looks good, doesn't it?
It does look good.
Man.
First thing I noticed.
I am a handsome son of a...
I mean...
Can I borrow your clippers? I probably should do this.
What?
I don't want to even worry about it anymore.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Did you recently get a hair? Nope.
I like how you
gotta,
you
Chris,
slowly studied and you're like, oh hell no, he didn't.
You gotta look at the back of his hair.
Yeah.
Because his little back hairs start curling up a little bit.
Yeah,
he would have a fine mullet if it mulleted
would.
it.
If I
just want to rub it. It's very soft.
Ooh.
If I ever leave,
Do it, Sean.
I'm not touching
Join me in
I'm not
this.
touching Chris's head.
it's that Pantene Pro V conditioner.
Yeah, it is.
It does wonders.
But like we said, John, welcome back. How was the vacay?
It was good. I had a great time.
You know, we had it was funny because we had an email from a John on vacay last week as well.
You don't say.
I believe it was you.
What did it say?
And I was talking about Fort Sumter Ridge and South Carolina and all kind of stuff. It was crazy because
it sounded like the ramblings of Richard.
I don't know
I just kind of
what
forgot.
I was drunk the whole time, so I don't remember.
I don't believe that one.
when you went to some hack crab place, Chris was talking about how you would go to a hack crab
What was
place.
that? What did I say? It was soft shell crab.
He said something about Maryland and Baltimore.
I don't like soft shell crab.
No,
Never.
That's what he said too.
I had never tried it. The legs were fine.
Yeah.
Once I got to the head, it started to really taste fishy.
Yeah.
And I was not digging that at all. But the rest of the food was good. It was, no. I think in general, I don't like that dish. Never tried it before.
Yeah. Well, the show did carry on. Thanks for listening.
You don't say.
Yeah. It wasn't the same. It never is when all three of us aren't here.
Some would say it was better.
But we're just going to say it wasn't the same, Chris.
Email us at weeklygameschat@gmail.com.
We got 3 times the amount of love once he left.
Let us know if John should die on a spike.
If someone
Not a
wrote in,
spike.
if someone wrote in and just said, literally, die on a spike, John.
I don't want you to, for the visual, but you're on a spike.
But the last end of the trip, we left Wednesday. We went to our Aunt Rhonda's house, who lives in Darlington, South Carolina, where the internet barely works. You think my internet's bad? You should witness this internet. And we just sat and vegged for the remainder of the week. Just relax. We ate when we want to eat. We watched what we wanted to watch.
Ate when we want 8.
Yeah.
Did I say it that way?
You did. It works. Hey.
I finished Metroid Samus Returns.
Oh, you still have a Game Boy.
Yes.
Remember my first time.
Feels like the first time.
But I restarted it and I played it all the way through.
Why would you do that?
I like the game.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't put it on my top 5 last year.
Because you didn't
That's
finish
a good question.
Yeah.
You didn't finish it.
I mean, technically I was one boss fight away from beating the game. I just started it over because I'm crazy.
That is crazy. It's like if you were playing, like WoW, and you just created a new character for no reason.
Like every time you hit level 60, you're like, you know what? Screw continuing with this.
Yeah.
We watched this British summer. We watched this British
The Great British
crime show called Midsummer Murders. The Vietnam War. Ken Burns is on Netflix now. We watched that. Yeah.
I started watching it. It's depressing.
It's really good.
It is
AF.
depressing.
I started watching it. I'm going to probably try to finish it when I really want to be down in the dumps.
It's like, it starts out and you're like, okay, this is bad. But when you get to about episode 7, from there on out, that's when it really is like, when it started all going downhill.
Well, Ken Burns is like the Steven Spielberg of documentary filmmakers. I don't know who Michael Moore is. Ken Burns is champ because he actually does a documentary. He puts material out there and he doesn't form a conclusion for it. He gives it to you.
He lets the audience form their own.
But one thing this film highlights is the fact that most people don't really know much about what it was all about. It's one of the most misunderstood conflicts in U.S. history.
You think, all right, people our age, right? We're in our 30s.
People at the time were
That's what I'm saying. That's what you're referring to, yeah.
It's kind of like, it's hard to believe because I think you were coming off World War II and there was just this idea in America that like when it came to national defense and such, that the government was always doing what was in the best interest of the people, and just let them do what they do. And a lot of stuff that came out from that war really changed, I think, the way, one, how the media approached it, and two, also how people started to approach it, because there was just a lot of things that really divided people as far as how they carried
dare I
themselves out.
say that war was divisive.
Yes, that would be a good word.
Yeah, I think it was, I think it was divisive for all the wrong reasons. And I think the media, for a large part, got that war wrong. I mean, particularly when you look at, if you look at it from the perspective, and this is a games podcast, I guess.
I know.
Sorry.
We're just catching up on times.
But if you think
Let
about,
go, John.
if you think about the mindset of the government back then and how communism was truly feared at the time,
Sure.
if you look at the map of Indochina at the time,
Whoa.
it was completely red.
Yeah.
It was
Indochina.
awful.
Well, yeah,
these are billions of people
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, there was
that
a
are
big,
a threat to democracy.
it was a big fear that China was going to basically take over the whole entire Southeast. That was
That
the
in
big
Russia.
fear.
Like Georgia.
like they were like two sides just swarming in.
And therefore we went in basically
I
to
know.
do that.
I know.
But it's like,
Don't look at me. I know.
yeah, you look at the later parts and you see like the kinds of things that were hidden and kept hidden, and it's the kind of stuff that like pisses people off once they find out, like, wait, you were doing all this and you weren't telling us that you were doing all this.
Yeah.
That's where it was. That was the big division that occurred.
Oh, you almost,
And,
you
like,
almost
yeah,
gave
I
it a
know.
go, big boy.
The division is a good game.
Did you by chance, Shaun, see Ant-Man?
I did. And the Wasp.
It was
Oh, cool. Yeah, ask
really.
me. Ask me.
Well,
if I,
sorry, you already told me you saw it.
Yeah.
I think it was
Panties much?
Rotten Tomatoes.
he's like goes in a conversation with you. I'm like, what am I?
Because normally, in all fairness, I'm not the
I'm
one.
sorry, we talked offline, and I already.
I'm not the one who normally sees these kind of movies without talking
True.
to you guys. So he made an assumption.
I think
Thanks for the
Rotten Tomatoes summation of the critical consensus was the fact that it was a really great palate cleanser.
Was he? Why did he get all like?
I wasn't.
And
I actually
just-
wasn't
I
that
was
huge
like-
on it.
Really?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I mean, just
It was
because I like Paul Rudd.
I
and
want,
it's like,
then I want to know what you want out of a Marvel movie. You
well,
want the Dark Knight?
I like the first one a lot more.
Oh,
This
the
one
first
to me,
Ant-Man?
yeah.
John.
This one to me just felt like a
John.
sitcom episode. I was
Yeah,
not
man.
huge on this one.
he hates. He hates.
That girl from Lost was in it too.
Yeah.
I heard. I didn't spot her.
Yeah.
She top notch.
Top notch.
She might be top 3 at this point.
Evangeline Lilly.
How you doing, Evangeline? In case you're listening, thanks for the support.
She's like, no
But yeah, I
problem.
did see it. And I even stayed for the so-called post credits.
Oh, the
to
post
see what
credits
happens.
were awesome. Well, not the post credits. That was okay.
Yeah, the first one was good.
I didn't see the.
second
I
one,
didn't see
was
the
like,
second. I got up. I was so mad after the first.
You didn't miss anything.
Why were you mad?
I'm just this. This is just a.
Just-
it's a bit. John.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's been. I know. It's
Welcome
been a while.
back.
Speaking of that, you know what today is, right? What, as we're recording.
It's John's birthday.
No.
Oh.
No.
It's your birthday.
No. It was a month ago. Thanks for asking. Literally a month ago today.
You remember that day I forgot?
Yeah, I do.
Saw
But
him
no,
too.
today is, looked me right in the face and just kept on going.
Thanks. Take your dog.
Get the hell out of here. By the way, can you watch mine for a week? No, today's the day. There is a Reddit
Yeah, there
forum.
is.
Yeah, there's a Reddit forum that is called Thanos Did Nothing Wrong. And it is dedicated to the idea of what Thanos does at the end of that movie. We won't spoil. And the whole entire thing is basically in celebration of that. All the people who subscribe to this Reddit forum, they're going to ban half of them today.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I mean, to his credit, Brolin,
Randomly. Is it random?
yes, it's going to be random bans. And
that is so awesome.
and to
Full
his
support.
to his credit, Brolin today got on there and put a video up where he's sitting in bed and he goes, "All right, here we go," and he goes,
That's funny.
that's great.
That's good
"Yes."
stuff.
So happy Thanos Day for those who are participating in that.
True. Hey, next time that you hear my voice and I talk about soccer, John, there'll be a world champion because the FIFA World Cup
It's
will
going to be
have
England.
wrapped up. Yeah.
There's 4 remaining, right?
That we are in the semifinals, which occur on.
Who are we? When you say,
Did I
you
say we?
I, don't know,
I meant
maybe-
the
Yeah,
the
you're
general.
Germany. You're not.
the general. You as viewers of the World Cup. We. The tournament is now in the semifinal phase.
Well, we should. I mean, technically, we're pulling for the West, right? So we're going for Great Britain.
We're going for England at this point.
I've been jumping on that bandwagon for a little while.
Harry Kane is, I've mentioned on this show.
He's the greatest soccer player
I
of all
believe
time.
Matt, the Gooner, and me have a connection with Harry Kane, or at least he said something about England in a DM message we recently got, John.
Nice.
On the Twitter.
What's a DM?
Direct message.
Okay.
So yeah, and if you guys, actually when you hear this podcast, you will know who is in the finals. You listener people, because it's going to occur.
And hopefully when they hear this podcast,
tomorrow? The Tuesday and Wednesday, and they get us on Wednesday. So yeah,
those kids will be rescued.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's another big story. I didn't know at first how that even occurred.
It's crazy, man.
They were just apparently exploring the cave as a team event.
They went past a sign. They ignored the sign
about flooding or what?
About flooding, and it flooded, and they got stuck. And if you look at pictures of how that cave curves,
yeah.
I would just die.
Dude. What's the name? In North Carolina, there's a cave. It's part of Lookout Mountain, maybe. I'm making up names.
It's called Lookout Cave.
It's
it's
in the Appalachian Trail.
Well, there's a
movie about, isn't there a scary movie about
I don't know,
the
but
descents where all these crazy...
Let's just say I've been in a cave before where I had to go down an elevator, and then when you come out of the elevator, right, when Earth is the roof, it's way different than like when the roof in your house is the roof or the ceiling. Like you touch it and you're like, because like it's there. So like I'm not scared of caves or enclosures, but I felt very weird in that. But I paid to go do this, and it was to go see a waterfall in this cave way on down the path. And they don't know how the water gets to the waterfall, right? Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I remember that. It was like, whoa. Can you imagine being stuck at a place like that and like literally no food, water, didn't expect it.
And you know your oxygen's running out.
Yeah, oxygen's going to run out. Like that freaks me out.
It would suck.
Yeah. So
hopefully everyone makes it out.
But they started reporting of they had to really plan how to go get these kids and what to do. And there have been reports about things are picking them up and leaving. So it's going to be a slow process, but I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Hopefully I hope everybody's good.
So my guilty pleasure for the past week, because I've been dealing with...
we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it.
I've been dealing
You're
with...
single. We know what it is.
10 minutes before John walked in, guilty pleasure. No, shook this hand.
That's why he
So
rushes
been missing
home.
ya.
He quote unquote rushes home to get the show ready.
I was here today,
I had
man.
to plug in our own mic and headphones today, Chris.
Yep.
Is that dry stuff flaking off my hand?
Whoa.
Yep. But no,
Whoa.
because I was at John's and I had terrible internet. And you know, I don't usually care about any of this stuff, but that one YouTuber put out a documentary on it. I like went all in on the like looking at everything that happened with that stupid TanaCon crap last month.
Oh, that thing.
I don't know
the
really,
backstory enough as to why they.
It's so weird because like you start to go down this rabbit hole and you realize, God, there's like this whole entire universe of life that just exists in YouTube personality world and the things that are going on it.
I go down the rabbit hole constantly.
You know, you pull up these people. I've never once watched any of that woman's videos. Right? Yeah. She's got like 5 million subscribers.
Yeah,
you know?
And we don't even know about them.
Or like, and the person
it's
who made
crazy.
The person who made the documentary about the whole entire thing, as far as the fallout. From the festival, Shane Dawson or something like that is his name.
Dawson's Creek, yeah.
He's got 12 million subscribers. He's like one of the biggest YouTubers in the world. And I didn't even know who this guy was until I started watching him. I'm like, who the hell are you? And why are you being given
Wasn't
authority?
it a response to VidCon?
Yes. It was just really interesting.
But I have no idea why they moved on.
Look, all three of us have planned large events. And we know like the amount of work that goes into it.
Right.
And seeing what you see in these things as far as background scenes between both her and the production company who are put on this, it's like amazing to watch just how terrible they are, and like proof that maybe 20-year-olds shouldn't be given the power to run something within 30 days that requires coordinating with like 5,000 people.
Yeah, there's like you mentioned, we've planned stuff before, little stuff, big stuff, and there's a lot of like cogs in the wheel that you have to make sure are spinning and doing what they're supposed to do. But I'm interested to see this thing you're talking about now. You might have to send me the link because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Type in Shane.
There's an article on Polygon about it.
Yeah, that was what launched me off on it, and then I like realized it was like a 3-part series. And to his credit, like, so he
his
goes
credit.
like, he was originally supposed to be at this thing. And I guess like, so he felt really guilty about everything that happened.
What thing?
It was, okay, so there was a
Give me
thing,
really,
okay.
like, I
So
don't
yes, there's this thing called VidCon, right?
Okay, VidCon.
And there's a YouTuber named Tana something, I can't remember
So
her last name.
Tana was
Yes.
going to go to VidCon.
Well, she was trying to go to VidCon, but she wanted a feature creator badge or something like that, right? But they, for whatever reason, they wouldn't give her one.
And she's looking at it like, I'm a big YouTuber. Why can't I have one?
Well, yeah, she got pissed because like this happened last year, and she would go on the show floor, and she got flooded by everyone because she's not a feature creator, so she doesn't have security around her or anything like that, helping to disperse everything.
Okay.
So then, like, eventually they had to ask her to leave because literally it was causing, safety concerns.
Security
so
hazards and
so this
stuff,
year,
yeah.
yeah, she went off and she was pissed off. So she said, you know what, I'm going to form my own con and throw it. And I think everyone should show up and come to it, and we'll do it right across the street from VidCon. So this is like 40 days ago.
So hence this is the fail.
So yes, they tried to put together a festival in like 30 to 40 days.
Possibly thousands of people.
The whole entire idea that was billed that it was going to be primarily free with a little bit of VIP, right?
That's a hot line.
Ended up being the other way around. Like, I think they said they sold like 300 free tickets.
What?
And it was like 5,000 paid tickets.
How do you sell 300 free tickets?
Well, like they're $1,
Okay.
like for the fee or whatever.
They're not free.
Yeah.
Literal Shaun.
But yeah, like, so you get to the day of the festival, and it's just so terribly planned that basically the place that they've booked it at only has like a capacity of like 1,000. So there's 5,000 people there.
Was it
so
like an
1,000 people
elementary
are
school? Like-
it was at the Marriott in Anaheim, I guess.
Not the Marriott.
Yeah.
Never the Marriott.
And so it was like, yeah, 1,000 people are inside watching the thing, and then like everyone else is just outside sweating, getting burned.
They don't have
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, but they're waiting to get inside. They're
True.
being told, like, oh, you're going through registration, and there's like no food, no water, very limited bathrooms.
Chris.
Just everything is terrible about it.
Yeah.
So it fell apart very quickly. Eventually, the fire
So then
marshal shut
Shane-
it down. So Shane was supposed to be there. So he started doing an exploratory documentary, basically, where
Exploratory documentary?
No, it is a fair. It's a fair actual documentary. He gets interviews with Tana and also the production company behind it, and like they have their conversation on camera. It was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Okay.
Like it was entertaining. Like
If you're
for
interested
something
in,
that's YouTube, I was like,
you're
this
in.
is. I was like, I got my soaps on. Let me go get some
I was gonna say,
popcorn.
was it kind of soap-ish? Drama filled.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
dude, this is like so high school teen drama stuff.
Yeah.
Just like,
right up your alley, right?
oh yeah. It was a
So-
guilty pleasure.
I have a proposal. Since we're not
Okay.
really technically covering a game this week,
Okay,
this should be our.
but I already made it. I already made an image.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you?
Yeah,
And plus, he said that before we went on air.
I still think
Yeah.
we should.
You should listen to stuff.
you are dumb.
You have headphones on. You should turn your ears on, dude.
None of you are nice people.
This is true.
Did you come back from like the nicest trip ever? You're just full of joy.
We're not nice people. Though.
Then as soon as he comes to the podcast recording, he's like,
You're busting my balls.
I hate all of you.
Yep.
Did
Get
you
my balls
enjoy?
busted.
Can you?
Did you enjoy your dogs being looked after by this unnice
Did he
person?
eat all the cumin?
Oh, did I?
When
Did you turn off the propane tank?
Of course.
Okay.
Grilling.
did
No,
you grill?
You should
Yeah.
have let that off a little bit.
You really didn't listen to last week's episode, which surprises me. Usually you're the one
It
of
was-
us that's
it was
Johnny on the
top
spot.
notch.
We made so many shout outs to you.
I've been meaning to. I just haven't.
Don't worry about
vacation, guys. What am I? Am I going to listen to your show on vacation?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do on my vacation.
What were you doing on the ride from South Carolina back?
The road trip, dude.
I'm not going to subject my son to what has become a very filthy podcast.
This podcast
this is a
is top
family
notch.
rated, completely
Clean,
non
Because we
iTunes?
technically don't say wordy dirds.
wordy dirds.
Yep.
Is that
Are you being a hall monitor right now, but of the podcast, dude?
I'm just selling.
what's a wordy dird, by the way?
It's dirty
That's what I'm
words.
saying. Like, ugh.
That's got to be some adult to kid.
You're
speak
saving
right there,
grace right now, John.
We don't say wordy dirds.
Put that in your smipe and poke it.
You hear me?
We do this all day.
There's that crease. I'm letting everything slide because it's still top
It's
notch.
still going.
It's top notch.
You know what also is top notch? Our topic for this week.
It's
That was
no.
Come on, give me for a pivot scale.
No,
That's
it's-
a good pivot.
Let me tell you why it's top notch, because we petitioned to our people and said, hey, what are some things, if we don't talk about it?
This was a
Yeah.
user idea?
Yeah.
Yes, that was like someone said like, "Hey, you guys should do this," and I was like, when I got to Friday, I'm like, we really haven't talked about what we're doing this week, and there's nothing.
We joked about Crash Bandicoot being the topic,
That would have been funny.
Oh, really?
but then we were
I was about to offer. I'm like,
don't
do you want me to buy?
don't do that.
Crash
Yeah,
Bandicoot?
nobody wants you to buy Crash Bandicoot.
I would love to just sit there for hours watching John play.
You know where I play Crash Bandicoot at?
In Uncharted 4.
Yes.
It is a fun part in that game.
That's about as far as I go.
All right, well let's pivot to this topic.
Topic time. News.
No, no.
I don't mean to do that.
No.
That tricked me.
That was real. That was legit. Because we do
That
that.
came from a real place.
We do that as a joke sometimes. That was 100%. I thought it was news time.
Because
This is what I deal with every week.
You thought the topic was what I was just telling you.
Possibly. It was a good. It would be. It would be.
John, why don't you repeat it for our
I
listeners?
can't.
So Charleston.
Let me tell you about something. No. But no, for real, the topic is, and this was suggested by one of our emailers.
You should probably give shout out to that email person. You should
It's
do it right.
user.
You should do it right as we're talking. Look it up and get that information because
That requires 3 clicks.
it's fair. You know what I mean?
It's the right thing to do.
He took his time out, but you can describe what it is and
But
what his
anyways,
name.
yeah, it's our top 5, I guess, games so far for 2018. Now, usually when we get to the end of the year, no, that was the top 10 game. Well, on there. See, now they got me like reading and searching, which is why I didn't want to.
It's fine. Keep talking. That's the guy.
Oh yeah, okay, here we go.
That's
Here we
the
go.
guy from old Ever.
Yeah, Ever wrote in, I guess it was last week, yeah, or 11 days ago. And he did suggest this. He said he wanted to know what the Game of the Year contenders for 2018 are so far. So we kind of pivoted off that a little bit, but
It's mid-year.
we're doing so far as a collective what we think are the 5 games that
would you say we've played that we
think you should
definitely
play. Yeah, we
And
think should.
this was contentious. We locked ourselves in a sweaty, hot room, took our clothes off. Wait, that's something else.
That was only
That's your dream.
in your mind and my mind. Chris could not get into the room of requirement.
Hey guys, why can't I come in, guys?
He was Draco Malfoy in the hall.
That's funny. You be the one Slytherin. I'm Hufflepuff.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Oh, that's a good Hagrid.
You don't mean that.
I don't. How do you know?
Was not genuine at all.
I saw some pops.
But
That
yeah,
was so good.
I thought of you.
so those who are actual longtime listeners who have heard our previous,
first time.
who have heard our previous Game of the Year shows, we don't usually, when we do Game of the Year, we don't actually have one set list. We just each give our own top 5 games of the year. Mm-hmm. Since it's only halfway through, we decided to do a little bit different this time. So, no rankings yet.
Wait, I mean, do you think our consensus,
We would be consent. We would
see how hard that word is all of a sudden?
We would. We would be. I don't know the word.
Consensus.
We would all agree on what the best one so far.
Yes,
is.
we all agree
Other
on
ones though are a little bit.
that. Yeah.
They are what they are.
They're there. So we came together and we, as John said, we locked ourselves into a room for 48 days on a mountain. Wait,
Why is it
no,
a
wait,
mountain?
that's the Bible.
No, you thought a mountain because of
the Bible.
you don't know how to quit me.
I don't know how to quit you. This thing grabs a hold of us in public. God,
Hey,
I didn't
beautiful
pay
shot
you to.
movie, by the way, John.
Hey,
That's
John,
a nice movie.
The visuals were
I
outstanding.
didn't pay you to stem the rose while I was up there. If our listeners are picking up what I'm quoting right now,
Is that Randy?
Yeah.
Randy.
Old crazy Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
Jeez, that had
Uncle
to have
Eddie.
been- That had to have been his last movie.
I think so, before he went completely bat. Yeah.
Wait, Independence Day.
No, that was before. That was way before this.
Okay.
Yeah. This was like 2008, I think.
That
it was about 10 years
He
ago.
made me cry in Independence Day.
Yeah, he did.
That was legit.
You
All
cried?
right, you alien a-holes.
That's when you're crying?
Well, it's just because he's doing it, man.
Anyways, back on
Screw the track, Chris.
The
track
aliens,
off road.
the aliens abused him sexually.
Do we have the list?
Yeah, I got it right here.
You got it right there in your head?
It's 5. It's not like some
Chris,
enormous thing.
I know you think that's easy. I got 3 in my head right now.
But
I got them all.
I do too.
I don't know if you guys settled on something. I don't know.
we settled.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm good then. I think I can.
Basically, yeah, we just came with 5. So, this isn't everyone's opinion or our definitive, I guess, opinion. It's just 5 games that we all agree.
Sometimes you have to balance
Hey, John.
objectivity
Yes.
with subjectivity.
Hey, John, thank you for the link for that YouTube video.
No problem.
Oh. Which YouTube video?
It's not the one I originally
The
saw,
one we
but
just
it'll,
talked about.
But it'll,
Oh, okay.
But it'll
Gotcha.
bring you up to speed.
There you go. So yeah, here it is. We're just going to go around. We'll list off these 5 in no order, except for maybe we'll save the one that we all agree is the top one so far for this year is the last one. That would make the most sense, right? I'm interested to see like when we get to the fall here because I feel like the top one is cemented for the year at this point, unless someone really brings a hammer. And I've said it before. Right now, there's only like 2 games left this year that I can even potentially see dethroning it.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, I love Assassin's Creed, but like Assassin's Creed looks like Assassin's Creed. I don't see that doing something that's going to like.
Your mom looks like Assassin's Creed.
Well, then
whatever
she's pretty
that
hot.
means. Yeah.
Means she's pretty hot and she's Greek. Hey, there you go. She's a Spartan. Rawr. What?
I don't know. So you're thinking Red Dead might challenge?
Red Dead and
Old
Spider-Man
Kratos.
are the only 2 that, unless like there's some small game that
I mean, 'cause
comes out of
technically
nowhere.
There's a smallish game you've played that's made its way into the at least halfway top list. Would you not?
Oh, that was my number 2.
Right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and that's not necessarily a AAA big, even though it was on every console just about.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, I can't see Tomb Raider being there. I really can't.
You
see.
shut your mouth.
I mean, and I love Tomb Raider, but again,
really
it
open
looks like Tomb Raider. It doesn't look like.
No, it looks like Tomb Raider with
It's kind of like you look at it and you go,
more puzzles.
is it going to be something that has such a memorable story? Because that's like the only way I can see those games getting there is like they have to have a story that is truly
Story.
one of the
Bite
best.
me with story.
Well, I mean,
Bite
one
me
thing.
with story.
okay, well, when you don't have something that's like highly innovative because you're just kind of building off what you've already done because you're doing a game that comes
Okay,
out
dude.
every 2 years.
Saying boy 500 times in 3 hours is not story.
No, but it's
Hate mail.
the gameplay is very innovative.
All
from
right,
it,
well, let's
so,
get this rolling. How do you want to?
Yeah, we'll just toss one out. Let's go first. Trying to think of a good one. You know what? I'm looking for a way out of this. So let's start with
A Way Out.
a way out. There you go.
That's one of
Who
our.
put that on the list?
I don't know, Shaun.
That game sucked.
You didn't play it.
Yeah,
That's
you didn't
why
play
I
it.
didn't have anybody to play with.
That's
Yo, the
'cause-
2-man game with a 3-man podcast, huh?
Sorry, John. Fend for yourself.
Well, you didn't. You didn't show any
the
interest
sequel,
in it.
The sequel will be a 3-way.
Another Way Out.
3-way.
You want nothing to do with this game.
Who? John? I remember
Yeah.
at the time. Yeah.
No, I was moderately.
Your voice
interested.
just went high, so that means you didn't.
Yeah, that's your tell. I don't have any aces. None at all.
But no,
I remember you guys were pretty hype on.
we
the,
were.
on the game.
The E3 demo really started selling Chris and I on it, like
Yeah.
from the year before, and we went, "Wait a minute!" It was just cool. It was when we did our review of it. We touched on the mechanic of the game, and that really is the core of it, where you have to play it with another person. Right?
Yeah.
You can't ride solo.
No solo in this
And
in this show.
and we had a blast, dude.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the better ones I've seen of like a game trying to be a movie type thing.
Yeah.
like where
The way it was
it actually
filmed.
felt like
Yeah.
it. It didn't have anything highly original as far as the plot. Like, there wasn't, outside maybe the one part we're talking about. Yeah. Outside of that one thing that happens. Yeah. But for the most part, you're like, you could see all the tells coming way in advance, right? But it's such a fun ride, and it's done so well, and you're like, I haven't really gotten a game that feels this cinematic about, crime and all that like this before. So you feel like it's new to the genre as far as video games. It might not be new in terms of just art in general because of Godfather and more Casinos, Casino, Soprano, what is it called? Freaking.
What are you doing right now? Give me a hint. I'll help you. I got you. I'll never let go, Jack.
Joe Pesci, Martin Scorsese.
Goodfellas?
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's
right.
He of all people.
I know. That's why I was like, where did my mind go?
He panicked, and we were there for him. We did not let go.
He's having like this hour-long, I was about to say orgasm, but I meant to say aneurysm.
Oh.
Kid show. Thanks.
We can say, I think we can still say that.
Yeah.
It's like how we're like, I think we can say
it's a scientific word.
Adam is just driving around his truck right now. I'm like, yeah, I loved it though. And I mean, for $20,
was it $20?
It was $29.
I think so. Or maybe it was $29.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. I'm sure if you have an Xbox, within a couple of months here, it'll end up on EA Access if you feel like waiting. If you just don't want to go run out and spend money.
If you haven't played it yet and you've kind of been wanting to, that's probably a good idea, Chris, to wait and let's just see if it pops out.
Yeah.
It shows up on a list. But it was super fun. It had that wow moment. It had great cinematography.
Yeah.
It had a movie feel to it. You find yourself rooting for, I love things where you root for the quote unquote bad guys.
Yeah.
And we both wanted our guys to literally escape. We wanted to find a way out. We wanted to do it. One of our
way out.
I remember, and at one point we're stopped and we're like in this little pond and we got a fish. And I remember that. I don't know why I remember that.
That's what was the nice part about the game, I think, is that you think it's just going to be this action movie and like the only down parts will be just walking around like, hey, let's go to the shop and cut this wood or something. But it's not. Like, outside of like the prior to breaking out of jail, maybe it is. But once you get out there, it's like you go into these environments and there's so many little things to do and explore. So it's like it encourages you to say like, oh, this is a living world to some extent. Like being able to sit down and play Connect 4 with Shaun while we're running from the cops, but I'm going to play Shaun in Connect 4 real quick. And he's going to be an idiot and let me win.
The best one was
the baseball
home run derby-ish.
Yes.
Dope.
Like we spent probably 20 minutes playing baseball
just
in this
a
game.
trailer park hitting baseballs over a highway.
Or the dude who's cheating on his wife.
Oh yeah, Chris did like this little side mission where he's like knocking on doors because we're looking for somebody, and something's going down. And Chris ends up ratting the dude out, and that's another trophy we got. It was cool that they implemented trophies like that, little side games, and then of course you as you progressed, you unlock these things, and it had. I mean, the story, like I said, I can't say about it enough. We enjoyed it. The story was good. It had that great twist at the end, and it truly was a one-of-a-kind experience that I haven't played in a long, long time.
Plus, it's like I don't know what I always forget what they call this, but it's the type of multiplayer where someone's doing one task so that you can do another task.
Yes,
cooperative.
No, pretty much.
But I know what
unilateral
you mean.
or some kind of.
You do it a lot in like the Lego games.
Bilateral.
If you play multiplayer Lego, one person has to like be R2-D2, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
That opens up this thing that lifts you up on the other side kind of thing.
You go down the high path, I'm going on the upper path.
I mean, from what you guys said, it seemed like a really unique game.
Yes.
There's really not a lot out there like it, so definitely deserves a spot on the list.
Yes. Let's see. What's next? Just like went.
I'll bring up the fact that do you want to do the one that I think I played?
Sure. You think
no.
You're not sure if you played
didn't play it, and you didn't play it.
No.
Correct.
And we'll touch on it. Well, I'd rather us do more time on topics we kind of both played, and then the ones we kind of just played by ourselves. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, but Monster Hunter World was one of the ones that I was very
Monster Hunter World,
very excited to get. I couldn't wait for the launch. I had some of the funnest times in my life playing back on Nintendo Wii. I think it was
Monster Hunter Try.
I don't remember what it was, but I had a friend of mine on. We were playing PlayStation 3 together. We were playing a lot of like shooters, and one day he goes, "Hey, come play this game with me. Go get it on your Nintendo. Let's play it." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I had known about Monster Hunter back then, but I never played it. I didn't care about it. And then lo and behold, I go buy it, and we spend hours, searching these monsters. And when I would tell people, "Yeah, you basically go to this cantina, and you pick up missions off a board to go hunt these like dinosaur-y animals. You need to know the animals because you need to know how to fight the animals. And you have friends that are like cats and stuff.
Yeah.
And you get lost in it, and they'd be like, "What?
Yeah.
So you're just going to kill dinosaurs?" I remember somebody said, "Didn't you do that in like Turok?" You remember that dinosaur game?
Yes.
And this was, you got to think that mindset back then. So if I could have got people to play it, one, it was very rare to somebody to have it like on a Nintendo, like a Wii. But two,
begged Mike D forever.
I begged because I just know people would like it.
That would be totally up his alley.
Well, yeah.
Did he try World?
Well, no, and the reason that would be transition into World is because this isn't a game that, like a lot of these games we play, you're going to put some hours into and you're done.
No, this is going
to be your game that you play
100 hours,
and you need to know what you're doing. You might get lost. But yeah, so when it launched, I picked it up with a couple of friends, and because I did have some back knowledge on the series, I was able to pick it up and kind of go with it. It's a Capcom game.
Old Capcom.
If you know them, they do things a certain way, but I tell you what, this game looks amazing. It hasn't let any of the people down as far as content.
Yeah.
Monthly, they're bringing out new content. They've had crossovers.
You're doing one with Final Fantasy,
with Final Fantasy 14 online.
Yeah.
There's a crossover where the monster from there is coming to here, and they always bring those kind of things together. There's Street Fighter characters that kind of intertwine. And even really soon, I believe a new updated release date for the PC version of the game bumped up from September to, I believe, August. I want to say like 8th, very early in August. So
not too far away.
I think it's the first time they've ever brought a Monster Hunter
to PC.
To PC, yeah.
This game was
I'd
the
probably
biggest.
play it.
This game was Japan's biggest game
Japan.
for years.
Yeah.
Next to, I don't know, Pokemon. Maybe that was huge. I don't know, but I mean, there was always this subset of people in the United States that would play this game. I always knew you were into it. My buddy Ben was real big into it. He played the heck out of the Wii U version. You weren't really that hype on the Wii U version. But this one came, I mean, they've always been well received and well reviewed, but this one came out of left field and just blew everybody away.
Yeah.
It was almost like it's not that it toned down the challenge
At all.
but
No.
for some reason it managed to make it more approachable for some reason. Can you explain maybe how that was?
I was thinking about that, and we both mentioned that the two systems I think that it came out on would have been the Nintendo systems. And now you introduce it to a large audience on the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Right.
And that just exposes it to a ton more people. Not to mention that the fact that the game looks amazing. It's in 4K graphics and whatnot. And then once you actually say you navigate your way through your first hunting an animal in that game, and I said it when I reviewed it, is at the core what the game is about. That thrill of this thing trying to kill you or you trying to find it is amazing. And then of course you're rewarded afterwards, and that's where the game turns into kind of like an RPG-esque type game, because you're going to skin these animals, you're going to build your character up, and it's a constant grind, so to speak, on doing that. Just because you think you know how to kill this one animal, you basically have to approach every fight with knowledge and preparedness, or you're going to die. And
Wow.
and it's
kind of like life.
Yeah, it's kind of like life, but it's super fun. Then they had this little thing.
What's up with dinosaurs?
Yeah.
And then there's a little thing where on this cantina, you go and there's a super chef cat who looks at you when you order, and there's a little animation for all your meals. And
He looks creepy as crap.
It's not though. It's the little things they do like that in this game that make it very charming, and very, very, very fun. And of course, if you haven't played Monster Hunter, I highly recommend it. It's great. Over from Geek Versus, Casey actually reached out to me and asked me if I was still playing it. At the time, I wasn't, because me and my friend up in Atlanta, Chauncey and Cam, we were into it pretty hardcore.
Were you PS4 in it? Because Casey would probably be Xbox.
Yeah, and I think that would be a...
And I heard there's no cross-play between the two consoles.
No.
I don't know if you know this.
But yeah, Casey picked it up, and he said he's loving it.
Yeah, I can
and wanted
see
to know
that.
if I was still playing it. It is a game that if it hooks you, you're going to be in for the ride, and it's a really
They'll
good
give you
ride.
hundreds of hours to play.
I need to reach out to Casey because I'm a bad friend.
You are. I saw him the other day.
Yeah, it's Capcom's best game since DuckTales.
That's crazy, right? But no,
Wow.
Well, because of this game,
that's funny.
Capcom's, I don't know if it's ever, but it's had its most profitable year in a long
I'm sure.
time.
it has to be because like I
of this
mentioned,
game.
there's constant DLC and there's just content, and people are still hearing that people are still playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to generate people to go buy it more and whatnot. So
Yeah, this game's in serious talks for Game of the Year across the board.
yeah.
For sure.
So,
there's that, huh?
yeah.
Go check it out.
And the old letdown at the end.
John, your PowerPoint was terrible. And as you know in life, when you fail,
You got to
kill you.
You got to end the PowerPoint with a solid slide, John.
Bring in the dinosaur.
Yeah. I think John should talk about a game that both of y'all played, but I think he should kick it off because I think
I don't
he
think
liked it.
anyone wants to hear what I have to say because it will not be very positive. But yes, Sean's alluding to Far Cry 5.
Yeah, Far Cry 5 is Game of the Year. All day long.
That game, think about this
Just
before
like
you
you
guys
just hear
start.
random, they're gonna hear random grumbles too. It's like just me over there.
Think about this before you start. I remember Far Cry having some promos with media.
Mm-hmm.
This one was everywhere.
Yeah.
They wanted people to get their hands on this game.
No, yeah, for sure.
And 2 out of 3 of us put their hands on this game.
Yeah,
Yeah. Casey came on board to talk about it.
Yeah.
And
Jeff
everybody
got this game. Mike got this game.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, and it's the top selling game of the year so far.
Yeah, I
Which is
think
crazy.
I think
Doesn't surprise me.
I don't know. I don't know how Jeff landed on the game. Mike landed
Softly.
solid on the game. Casey called it straight up trash. I think that was a direct quote.
Yeah.
As far
That
as
sounds
the
like
end,
Casey.
he
Let's
said
put it this way,
he said
yeah.
the ending was
The
trash.
ending-
I've
messed
yet
a lot of people up, yeah.
Did you finish it?
I'm about 60 hours into the game.
Yeah, like all of us who have finished it pretty much are all in agreement that the ending is trash. Jeff has called it trash. I've called it trash. Mike D called it trash. I know Casey really called it trash.
So you
Mike
guys
D
like
called it trash.
Oh yeah,
you guys like the build up
yeah.
to a degree, but
So-
the ending is just.
I didn't like the build up.
Did you
That's
see it?
me.
Did you see the ending coming the way it did?
No, and I mean, you've read it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you read it. That's one of the reasons. It just felt really cheap.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, that's where you went with this. Okay.
Well, I know that this game basically had a chance to put itself on a platform and address issues
Yeah.
that were kind of hot topic at the time of its release.
Yeah, I mean,
And I
didn't
remember
care
us talking
that.
about I thought I remembered us talking about it, and they really stayed away from it.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
very
was-
apolitical.
It's a political-ish game,
Yeah.
right? And I was kind of like, I remember thinking they should not, they need to not make stands on stuff like that. But
That's kind of like my point wasn't ever that you make a stand. It's more of like it was just like what they chose to do to me wasn't interesting. Like that was what the problem was. I was like, okay, this is just a bunch of nonsense, and it really sucks because you really had a cool opportunity and like you could have done something. But you know, that's their choice, and regardless, it's a really fun game. I mean, it's not a terrible game. Don't get me wrong.
it's not going to be on your personal top 5.
No, yeah, like for me, I enjoyed my time, but like I'm not jonesing to go back to Far Cry.
John, that means like, really wanting to go back to play Far Cry.
Like I could pick up. Let's put it this way: it was about a summer ago. Ubisoft put out Far Cry 3 for free on PC for like some anniversary, right?
Yeah, I remember
And I
that, yeah.
downloaded it, and I played it for about a week, and I had a blast. I remembered exactly why I love that game.
Yeah.
I'm no desire.
You were hyped to get Far Cry 5 and now, now that you
I
played
love
it
Far Cry.
and you've beaten it, you're like, Because
Yeah.
Primal left you kind of like wanting more, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really love Primal, but I love 4. I love 3.
Yeah.
I enjoy 2 a good bit, and 1's kind of its own different beast altogether. So, it is what it is.
Yeah,
You love it, though.
I do.
As of now.
No, I've I've never understood. I don't understand. I don't understand how the cult storyline is somehow relevant to today. I've never really made the connection of what people are talking about.
Right.
This was some great opportunity to form some sort of critique on society today. I'm like, the last cult that we had a run-in with was 30 years ago. I just don't know what people are talking about as far as this massive headlines.
Oh.
We're talking about Waco.
Yeah.
Was that 30 years ago?
That was over 30 years ago. It was in the early 90s, 94 maybe.
That's
Sooner?
not 30 years.
It was during the Clinton administration.
You just threw me off when you said 30 years, but I was thinking
That would not be
Koresh.
30. That would be 20, right?
We're not trying to be
20,
over. We're not trying to be over. But that was.
Yeah.
I started thinking about my age, and I was like, I was not that age.
But yeah, there was that period. I
just don't know where people are coming from. Where this was a huge missed opportunity to have a commentary on today's society.
I thought the game.
Where are the cults in today's society? Are you talking? I mean, everything negative, everything negative in the world in today's society. We as a culture go, you have to somehow attribute this to Donald Trump. I mean, let's be honest. That's what people are talking about when they're talking about this was an opportunity.
It was around the time.
This was an opportunity to critique the Trump voter.
And it was, which
is a bogus cop-out that lacks real intellectual conversation.
Sure.
It's just, it's not interesting. It's not relevant. I went back and watched the Far Cry thing. I'm like, I looked at it. I'm like, this thing, it was on Amazon.
Oh yeah, that short film
like,
they did.
This did not tease up anything to me that was going to say.
Do you remember
this
what was
is
hot
be
when
deep.
the game came out? Wasn't it the Virginia thing?
You have to help me. I'm sorry.
When they had the rally and it turned really
that was
bad.
in October last year.
I just remember, but I felt like that and something else was on the heels of this game coming out, and it made people. And
some of the commentary, some of the bigger commentary of critique was talking about these people in Montana, and it. I think it was a Forbes article where they had fundamentally no real understanding of the culture in Montana.
Right.
They thought,
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
They thought they thought that a cult, by definition, has to be racist, which is crazy.
Like, how do you connect dot A to dot Y like that? I don't understand that.
Cults are about taking people who are vulnerable, regardless of your race, creed, background, and bringing them into the fold. I don't know where this Forbes article got the idea that because it's a cult, they found it odd that there were blacks, whites, of all multiple races in this cult. They found that unbelievable.
It was like,
I'm like, you find
inclusive.
that unbelievable, and yet everybody in Montana had a Southern accent. Give me a break. I mean,
do they really?
Yeah,
they don't talk like that in Montana.
They don't talk like that. They're Northerners.
Hey,
now
rednecks are everywhere.
This is true.
But aside from that, the game is. I don't play a huge amount of sandbox games, but this game let me fly planes, let me drive trucks, shoot down rednecks. I mean, come on. This is like, you want to take out your aggression on Trump's America? This is how you do it. So in a sense, it's your ability to go and jump into a sandbox. If you're angry at the Trump voter, you can gun him down in the street and shoot a grizzly bear.
Ouch.
And shoot a grizzly bear.
And you can also help the alt-right.
Well, look, the game's doing something.
It's doing something.
It's like Chris said, it's the number one seller this year.
And I think that's a response to the insanity that comes out of it.
I don't think so.
I think it's partly a response.
I think it's just because to me it's Far Cry. That's why.
And
Far Cry has been a big
is the
seller
fifth one.
for years.
You're right.
This is the biggest Far Cry.
Yes, and it's going to keep.
Ubisoft
I think
title.
and it makes sense that it was the biggest one.
Just Dance.
It made sense to me that it was the biggest one because, to their credit, they've never done one in America. They've always done fictionalized, far off places. So this is the one that easily, I think, it's the same with like Assassin's Creed 3. Everyone was hype about that game. Why? Because it was America. It was the revolution. And people respond to that, especially here, of course. We want to see things realized.
I think they responded to the fact that it had a numeral 3 on it.
That also helped. Yeah. That was the other big part, yes, for sure. But I mean, it is what it is.
I appreciate people's views on it.
Yeah.
That's fine. I think criticism on story and how people think, and a lot of people think that video games have a social responsibility to comment on society. I'm like, no, you have a social responsibility to make the game you want, period. And I don't think they cheated us out of I don't think they promised us a story. I think we as a society projected onto this game what we thought it should have been.
I remember us talking about that same thing.
Yeah.
I think that's always going to happen.
That's on the individual.
I think you're always going to get into that whenever you're going to the political realm. I mean, like already you're seeing it with the Division. Like there are people, and I'm not even
wait for that game,
I don't understand that one particularly because like there are people who are like, why aren't they commenting and everything? I'm like, well, wait a minute. This is a fictionalized universe where this happens, where like literally the event happens years before even Donald Trump would be president. And it's not about some hostile takeover. It's about the fall of society due to a plague.
If we've not learned anything,
a chemical attack.
We're going to have outcry from all sides on almost everything concerning the video games we cover, from women not supposedly in a particular war environment at a certain time, or a group in Montana who's fictional that's not how people they think it should be, to a game that's not even out yet because it's in DC and they relate it to Trump, and it's like, oh my God, they're video games.
Just back off a little bit. Yeah, if you want to do the message thing, go right ahead. Yeah. Like, Rockstar always puts a lot of hidden jabs in. I mean, Rockstar basically roasted everyone in California with GTA 5. Whether you were, if you were someone who lived in the hood, if you were a high-end, millennial there, if you were someone who was a middle-aged high-end person, if you were just poor trash that lives out in the deserts of California, there is something there for everyone to be roasted on, and that's why I think I like it. Or South Park. South Park freaking literally does not care with their video games. They took shots, and they got accused of making some pretty bad, terrible remarks as far as Kanye's mom was concerned.
But it's irreverent.
Yeah, like they don't care.
And Far Cry has always been irreverent. It's always been, if you take the irreverence out of it and make it literal social commentary, you can't call it Far Cry anymore.
Right. That's literally Far Cry. Get it?
I just
do you remember?
Like I said, I never had a problem with the whole entire. That wasn't like some endearment or criticism of the administration. I don't care about that. To me, it was always about
or guns.
I just
or whatever
didn't. I was like, to me, I was like, I think you could come up with a better scenario for this that would make more logical sense and works better, like as far as tension. And two, I just didn't like the fact that, with the other Far Cry games, even if the story wasn't always the strongest, I could just go off and do whatever the hell I wanted. And here, this game, like literally, as you do things, you're going to get pulled back into the main narrative. There's no way.
Biggest concern.
That's all well and good, but it's like, that happens and it's a criticism, but it's also 20 hours in between those where you're still doing everything.
What's the guy's name that pulls you away?
Wasn't for me.
What's the guy?
Well, it depends on the region. Yeah.
Don't you depend me like that.
And honestly, the only one I found interesting of those was probably John the Baptist. I hated
He's
Jacob.
In the game?
He's the first one you go to usually.
Yeah, but
where he's cutting people.
No, there's
Jacob and then there's Faith.
I don't think they call him the Baptist though.
Oh. Well, I'm just calling him Baptist.
Sacrilege.
You can't just make up your own names for things.
Anyways,
Chris.
Anyway, but on a positive
so this is our top 5.
It's Far Cry 5 just gives you that well-rounded
sounds
shooter,
like it.
Open world, do what you want,
for sure.
Playground
That's
experience, and I think it's great.
If you haven't played it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the ending too. I always like to generate that kind of buzz, fellas.
Yeah, I want John to finish this because I'd like to hear his thoughts on the ending too.
This game sucks.
You remember that time we were talking about?
I can't believe they did that.
It's just like I don't know.
But it's like
you don't want to spoil it.
My favorite mission is the one where I'm going in search of the president's P tape.
Oh yes,
I'm
that was
recovering
fun.
the P tape.
Yeah, like stuff like that is fun.
And the stunt missions you go on. What's that guy's?
I cannot remember.
It's
but
a
yes, you're right.
crazy name.
Like that's where the game is the strongest. Is like just the side stuff you go off and do.
I jump in a plane anytime I want and just fly.
Yeah, it's not
what
a bad
you do
game.
in planes.
All right. Next up.
Yeah, it's the game Chris loves.
Yeah, I got to go and say there was no way that I was going to back off this. If you challenged me, I would have been like, BS. This game is on this list.
Did you feel like
I was ready to clothesline you.
You felt pre-confrontational before we even knew that.
Like literally, I was like, the Ultimate Warrior in the ring, pacing back and forth, waiting for you to walk down.
Well, I'm the Undertaker. I'm going to cut the lights off and wait for you in the ring.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Celeste.
Yeah.
Easily.
Take it away, Chris.
Yeah, Chris will be back in a minute.
Celeste, I keep saying, like, what's great about the smaller games that come out there is that you're not always paying attention to them. Like, I expect when God of War was coming out, I was like, I knew the game would at least be good, right? But the question is, like, how great can it be? That's the only thing that's kind of on your mind, because you're like, there's no way this thing sucks. There's no way this is just complete garbage. Maybe every once in a while that happens, but for the most part, you can bank on those games. But then you get the other side of the coin where it's like all these indie games, they can make a trailer that looks good from afar, but the question is, does it actually fully deliver more than like past a glimpse of it to being something really interesting and game changing? And I have to give credit here, like this little studio that came out and made this game, this is easily the best 2D platformer I have played in I don't know how long. And there's just no question of that. Like Mario Odyssey last year blew me away too as far as a 3D platform. And I was like, I won't play another platformer anytime soon that comes to this level of master craft. And you're like, oh, no. Here's this. From level design to the way it requires you to, I guess, perfect your abilities and understand how different things work in this game, to then the amount of exploration and hidden things you can do and challenges to up yourself. You really feel like, even though it is a hard ride to the top of this mountain, it is also it's one that kind of like those old school games, when you get done, you feel like you've really accomplished it, So
aside from the exploration, this is literally a trial and error game.
Yeah, I mean, you die a lot in this game, and you can gladly see how many times you die.
Harder than Ori? Much harder?
Oh, yeah. And the thing is like, you go back and you redo the early levels trying to do collectibles after you beat it, and you see just how well you've gotten at this game, because things that were so hard for you originally, you're just nailing. And the only time
Did you compare this at all to the Hollow Knight game?
I mean, they're very different. Hollow Knight's a Metroidvania.
Difficulty level?
Oh, much harder in Celeste.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to die a lot. And there's a point, there's a
Celeste
reason
is
for
harder.
Celeste is very much harder, and there's a reason for that, because it ties back to this narrative, and that's the other side. Like, you just don't get many platformers that actually have a really well thought out story behind them. That has
Princess
meaning.
being taken by a dragon.
I mean,
and you have a little mushroom friend guy who has a hut.
Yeah, so this game's about overcoming depression.
Oh.
And I mean, like, that's what I liked about it was...
Is it really?
Yeah, it is about depression, and I think it's really cool that they built in there a mode for people if they just don't want the punishment that comes with this, they want to see where the story goes, there is an easier mode. That was how Holden.
Oh, and you got excited because you were like, easy mode?
Hell no.
See, because Jeff plays on the easy.
Jeff, one night, me and him were doing our usual, and Holden comes out and was like, I beat Celeste. And he comes up, and I pull him. I was like, give me your Switch real quick. I was like, boy, if you're going to cheat, you got to hide the evidence.
What was the cheat? Easy mode?
He had turned it on, like where you couldn't die. And but that's cool, because it allows people who may not be hardcore platform gamers to experience a story if they wanted to. And I think that's really important, because I think this is a really important story. It does a great job of showing someone the stages of depression and what it gives a good idea to an insight, because I think a lot of people, like, if you never experienced it, I really haven't had it that bad, but I've had other friends who have, and it's like, you see like how you become this thing that people on the outside they don't know how to respond to it, and they kind of be like, oh, you're dragging me down with this. You have the person who's realizing that's how they feel, that just makes them feel even worse about it, and they just want to go more isolated, more alone. But it also shows that in order to overcome something like depression, how hard it is. You know, it's not something that just happens on a snap judgment. You really do have to make a commitment and hard change. And even then, when you get to the top of the mountain, you know, I guess cliche would just say doesn't mean that's the end of it, right? You know, we can always come back and you might have a new mountain to climb someday. But it's so good.
That was a wordy cliche.
Thank you. I try.
I definitely want to. One of my goals this year is to put that in my portfolio before the end of the year. It's just one of my weaknesses as a gamer, and I literally mean this as a weakness. I don't like the aesthetics of the game.
Yeah.
I never go back to the pixelated stuff. If you put that game in a sprite-based system like a Super NES game, I'm all in. It's so hard for me to go back to that pixel.
It is 16-bit.
Yeah, but it's
funny.
16-bit in the way that it's HD, I guess, but it looks like an 8-bit game to me.
Well, actually, the funny part about that is there is a point in the game where you can find a computer and play an 8-bit version of Celeste.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It just
See, that's the funny part about that.
Yes.
yeah.
See what I did there?
I'm
kidding.
I'm dying.
That wasn't a shot at you.
I will end you.
All I can tell you is it just doesn't look pretty to me.
No, well, I'll say this, like,
And that's shallow on my part, I have to admit.
if someone just took a still, you're like, oh wow, okay. But as you move through that game and you go through the different environments, you're like, it's impressive what they're able to do with that aesthetic. As far as I'm concerned. And then on top of that, how they're working in the environment to make new challenges for you as you're platforming. Like the mountain, the near peak part of the mountain is one of the most frustrating, but also in a good way, but also one of the coolest mechanics as far as working and how you have to judge things. I loved it. Cool. And I also screamed a lot. Jeff screamed a lot too.
In frustration.
Yeah, but y'all didn't play together. You sat
we would just sit there and we would send messages back on Kick to each other and just be like, oh my God, this part. But when we both beat it, we both took screenshots and sent them to each other.
Did you hold each other?
What about Celeste though?
Hmm?
Because you said when you beat it, you sent screenshots.
She's a young girl.
Because see, I'm funny.
So that's 4 of them, right?
Yeah,
that is. Yeah.
Which leaves our last
let's recap.
one. So we got Far Cry 5, we got A Way Out, we got Monster Hunter, and we got Celeste.
4 different games that offer
very different experiences.
Yeah. Very different. And we will say, I think, with no problem whatsoever.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Not even a shadow of one, Johnny Bear.
When we all started this, we knew what number 1 would be if we were to rank them. So we have no problem saying right now, this is the game of the year, at least for the first half. And we'll see if it can stay on its throne through the end of the year.
You mentioned, was it off air that you mentioned Spidey and Red Dead?
Spidey and Red Dead are the only 2.
I don't think Spidey can touch it. Red Dead maybe.
Watch it happen.
I think the thing was,
Spider-Man's the greatest game ever.
I think with Spidey, it's like 1, Insomnia is great studio, but 2, you really haven't had, like, the last time we really had a hero game that was open world was Batman, and that feels very different than this
DC
game.
Universe Online.
You can take that and get out.
You can be the Green Lantern on that one.
As much as I love you, DC. Been watching Supergirl.
Why?
I couldn't swallow that cherry Coke fast enough.
Because it's part of the Arrowverse, so I have to do it.
And see,
it's actually not been bad.
I got
it's
Arrowverse, John.
I got to finish Arrow.
Yeah. One day I'll get caught up on that show.
Emily
Struggle through it.
freaking Bet.
Yeah.
Who?
Emily Bet.
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
If you've seen
That's Felicity.
Yeah. Who's Felicity? Arrow.
Oh,
Felicity.
She's like
blonde, glasses,
she's
techie.
She's like Oracle.
Oh, okay.
Batman's Oracle.
Yeah, it's a good call. I feel like all these shows, there's an Oracle. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
that
like
terrible.
There's one, and there's
Flash
no really.
has one.
Flash has one. Supergirl has one. I guess maybe Legends of Tomorrow doesn't quite have one because they're a team.
I haven't watched Legends of Tomorrow or Supergirl.
You might like Supergirl. I don't know. No, wait, I take that back, and I'll tell you why later. Oh, fair.
I know why.
I'll let you know.
Great.
But yes, our number one game.
Everyone knows I'm grumpy.
Our number one game shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who's listened to our 2 podcasts we did on it.
Vampire.
Yep. Kingdom Come Deliverance. No.
Did we do one on that?
We did.
Yeah.
You were there.
He liked it.
Yeah,
Oof.
I did. I need to go back to that game.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, God of War.
improved it?
God of War. I hope so. I'll find out. I'll let you know. I'll send you a message. God of War. Small studio out of Santa Monica, California. First time director. No.
That game was great.
It's just like,
Let's not be too
it's
wordy.
everything you want.
Yeah, let's get straight to the meat on this one.
Who was it? Someone's playing. Oh, Brad's playing it finally, right?
Yeah.
And Brad was like, so I got to the lake.
Whoa.
And he was like, so I'm figuring I'm probably like halfway done.
No.
I just laughed at him. I was like,
You get to the lake, dude,
like-
you got like
I was like, dude, you just
4
finished.
weeks left.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you basically just did the prologue. That's basically what
Yeah,
you've
it
done.
is if you think about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a prologue. It's learn what you're doing here.
Imagine we all could still put that game in right now.
Oh, and I have
we've
a
all
blast.
beat it, and there's still so much to do.
I'm definitely once the new game
Probably not
plus
for
mode.
me.
No, there's way more.
No, I've gotten everything.
No,
Did you get the
There's-
Infinity Gauntlet?
there's that. And, did you
See?
see his face?
See?
Exactly.
Whoa. What?
And there's something
There-
that the company
Infinity
came out and
Gauntlet.
said,
There is some sort of, it's not called that, right?
but is that
But it's like there's a set of armor and it has a pair of gauntlets on it where it has 5 sockets for 5 specific gems. And if you go out there, they're very close in description. And like you can shoot a laser out of it when you have it on and
That's
all this
right.
other crazy stuff. Yeah.
That's
There's
right.
apparently like some set of armor.
guys
that's
have a
still-
good night.
Yeah. There's
Are
apparently
you
like
serious right
yes.
someone told me the other day.
Thanos glove in the game.
Yeah, I think Darren was telling me about
Break
how like
Loki's neck.
there's some set of armor that's hidden somewhere in the game that the game director said like no one's found.
That's
yet.
why I was telling you
Maybe
that.
yeah, okay,
I think
maybe it was
me.
you.
But
Maybe
yeah,
it was you.
no one's found it. No one even knows what it is.
That's he's trolling.
No.
Corey's a troll.
Who's Corey?
No.
Barlog,
Barlog.
Who's that?
the guy who directed the game.
What?
Yeah.
He was a character in Street Fighter, but now he makes video games.
Yeah. Okay.
Man.
We're Googling the God of War Infinity
Yeah.
Gauntlet so
Oh,
John can
dang.
see it. How to find it, Easter egg spoilers. Don't click on it for John.
Someone's already done that.
See how, as we say that,
Let's see if I can find it.
I have that armor.
Yeah, the Shattered Gauntlet of Ages is what it's called.
you don't
And,
have that, John.
Like you have to get like,
Where the heck is it?
I have no idea. But
Well, there is a how-to, John.
that's funny right
Okay,
there.
that's
Someone
funny.
did that.
Did you ever, with your armor, did you ever successfully max out everything, or is that possible?
Yes,
It
it
is
takes
possible.
a long time.
But what's the point? I realized quickly
Yeah.
that I'm not going to platinum the game,
I'll say that is the one
heck is
thing.
that?
but you did.
Was that
Yes.
Monster Hunter or something?
No, remember he
Yeah.
fights one of those.
There's 3 of those you got to
Yeah,
find.
3 of them. Remember
That's big, though.
you platinum
Yeah.
this game like I
Did
did.
you, see how fun it is? Did you play it like on a
You're
cell
saying
phone
like I
screen,
like how you're
dude?
saying I like you're saying that's big and like literally the world serpent is in the background.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like not even one.
I don't remember him standing next to the world serpent, though.
Yeah.
You know, this is the internet, and they could have made that look like that.
Are you saying not everything on the internet is real?
Well, I do know Al Gore invented the internet, so
That's
that
true.
said,
You want story?
Yes.
you want action.
This game is for you. You got daddy issues? This game is for you.
is
You
it I
like
don't
combat?
remember.
This game is for you. The only knocks I would give this game, which
There's no knocks.
is the fast travel system, just didn't happen.
You're such an old
Shush.
guy. You're
didn't
such
didn't happen as soon as I wanted to. And when you're fighting,
Why don't you
the
come play
Valkyries,
Hollow Knight?
When you're fighting the Valkyries, that's where the combat really shows its chinks in its armor.
What?
I
Yeah.
didn't have that feel.
In a circular combat arena, Kratos kind of falls flat when it comes to
Well, what
combat.
if that's showing?
Maybe
how
you
to
just
defeat-
suck.
Yeah.
I freaking platinum the game.
Well,
That doesn't mean
anything. And you need to learn how to roll.
Yeah.
Jeez, guys.
Dodge, block. I don't know.
Parry, yo.
Yeah.
But you would admit that the game does not operate 90% of it in combat doesn't operate in that circular arena style the way you have to fight the Valkyries.
No, that's
I agree,
when
but
you're
I think
going
that-
to there. But I didn't have a problem. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it when you're in what's it called?
You played on easy mode though, so
The fireplace. You know what I'm talking about.
You
with
can
the arena.
platinum on easy.
Really?
so easy.
Yes.
Oh my god. Ugh.
You know. You told me.
Yeah, I got
No.
your text from like, buddy, just dial it down a bit.
Y'all come and play. Come and play the games I play. Here, take Dark Souls home with you
I
today.
don't want to play Dark Souls.
you beaten a
that's the
single
thing.
Dark Souls game?
They
You've
all
never beaten
chap
a-
up.
No, I want to
You've
have
never
I want to
beaten
have
Dark
fun
Souls.
playing a game. So I get DJ Hero and Rock Band.
I get Kirby.
My only real knock, and Shaun, you kind of allude this, like with the armor and the weapons, leveling them all the way up. It's not incredibly too hard to do it for the weapons, but with the armor, if you want to get that level 8 that's maxed all the way out, by the time you do it, it's like there's just really nothing else left to do in the game.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that kind of sucks. Like that's why I'm looking forward to New Game Plus, just because it would give me incentive to go back and say like,
But look,
all right,
we're knocking an element to the game.
Of a perfect 10 game.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
Not
that
a perfect 10, but a
that
10.
added levels of armor to the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Like this wasn't in other God of Wars.
correct.
Like you understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, and this is why
this is
Casey?
amazing.
I miss.
That's funny.
I really appreciated. Well, this is not appreciation. It's like, well, I appreciated the way the way they told you why the world was so empty as far as people.
Yes.
But it's kind of like when Batman Arkham Origins says it. It's like, come on, guys, you're not outside because it's a snowstorm.
But this one makes a lot more sense because it's fantasy.
to the people who want to make it make
he's
sense.
hiding in a realm.
Well, I mean, the whole entire idea is this is before the time of the Vikings.
Yeah, but
In the time of gods.
But it grows. The emptiness of the world, as far as people goes, grows on me as I see like these. The only people that are in this world are a witch and two blacksmiths. Like,
Yes.
is that really your idea?
And enemies.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
but to me,
See,
it's like,
look, man, I'm
more
picking up what you're
people.
putting down.
Give me some more
Maybe.
people to interact with. You know, I think the easy thing is
There's
just-
one other person.
my
but you
bad.
can't say it.
My bad.
Yeah.
I think the one thing
He's one of the best.
everybody could instinctively want
I
is an
can't say
open
it.
world.
Why can't
but
we say it?
I guess
He's
we
in the
could-
beginning of the game. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
plus
There's-
he's a god.
Yeah. There's
And
a
the
head.
other one's a god.
I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the one at the end of the game in a cutscene.
Oh, no. The one that's the
I'm
head
talking
that,
about-
that
I'm-
rests on your butt.
I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about people.
Yeah,
I got
know?
you.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but to me, like the game is definitely about isolation and the journey into the wilderness with your son as you kind of form this bond, right? Whereas, like to me,
I
I'm
never
fine-
felt isolated.
I guess, like to me, I kind of it didn't feel like they were pushing too hard, like because I'm like, okay, yeah, there's not a lot of people here because really the only people who are here are some sort of deity, or else they're
Yeah.
a monster, and then like. Versus like, yeah, Batman, where it's like, all right, guys, it's a cold one out tonight. The whole city's shut down because that doesn't even go on like now. Like you go to New York or whatever, that doesn't happen whenever there's a huge storm, snowstorm, because people are idiots. They go out. They don't do what's the safe thing. But I understand why they did it. It was for resources. It wasn't a huge knock, but you're just like, okay, that's a dumb excuse. Move on. I'm having fun. I'm Batman. And then
You
you're
didn't
like,
say
oh,
that right.
I'm Batman.
That's better.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, this is
Martha.
for
Is that
me. For me, I mean, if I'm not thinking too much into it, if I'm not overthinking it, it's up there with Breath of the Wild as far as the best game of the past 10 years.
I would not put that game as high. It's definitely, I've
We
said
know
that. It's for me the best games I've played since Witcher 3. There's no question about that. If I could rate this game on an accurate scale, I would say that's better than sex. So there you go.
Ooh, you need to have more of that.
It doesn't
If I was
happen.
rating it on a Richard scale,
I would just be like-
I got excited. If I was doing a Richard scale, it would be a 12 with girth.
How much girth?
Oh, so much girth. Like
Now,
if there's a keyboard.
When you measure girth, do you measure
Hey.
width or do you measure circumference?
There's a South Park episode on this. You should go watch it. They explain it.
Circumference.
Basically, you do whatever makes it bigger.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
That's why I shave.
But yeah, those are our top 5 games so far this year. Of course, we know got a lot of stuff coming for the fall. Got the Tomb Raiders. Got the Red Deads. Got the Assassin's Creed.
Got the Octopaths.
Yeah, got the Spider-Mans, and what else am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting some games here. I guess Call of Duty, Battlefield 5. What else is there?
We're good, man.
Just Cause 4.
You don't
Just
have to
Cause
list
4.
everything.
Yeah.
Is that coming out?
Oh, Fallout 76. Man, I'm an idiot. I guess that could be the surprise one, too. I don't want to ever count out Mr. Todd Howard because he's just a beautiful boy.
He's beautiful.
He rocks that members-only jacket.
He does.
You guys want to do some news?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
News.
See, I made sure this time, listeners, to remind Shaun.
I got it right this time, guys. I did it.
Don't be an idiot.
Don't.
Say what you're supposed to say.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
fine.
we can hear you
You're
fine.
good.
I hear you.
We only turned you down a little bit.
And by a little bit, we mean
The
to about 2.
guys in the back in production, they've adjusted the volume accordingly.
All right, just read fast.
Don't you be that way.
Todd Howard. See,
Asher Rays.
Yeah. Asher Rays. Todd Howard assures Bethesda fans. If you recall, Bethesda really dug in last year as the company is still committed to the single-player experience. With upcoming release of Fallout 76, the most anticipated multiplayer experience of the fall, fans are wondering if Bethesda is changing its strategy. According to Todd Howard, quote, "It doesn't mark the future. Corporately, we've done a mix people forget sometimes. Elder Scrolls Online is one of the biggest online games in the world. We have Fallout Shelter, which keeps updating, and Elder Scrolls Legends. Anyone who ever said this is the future and this part of gaming is dead has been proven wrong every single time. We like to try it all. For a long time, we wanted to try a multiplayer game, and we had this idea. We shouldn't be afraid. We should try it." Sounds like a very Todd Howard
It sounds
thing.
Todd Howard-esque, but he's missing. I would have countered with some of the single-player games that they plan on having and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
just to give a little bit of assurance to people. But
you know that Elder Scrolls 6, whenever that comes out, is going to be a single-player game.
is the space game going to be one?
I don't know about that.
Right.
Well, I'm wondering if in a board meeting, someone goes to Todd Howard and says, I'm not saying that they didn't want to do this,
Yeah.
but I mean, let's be honest. I don't think you can make a huge case that Wolfenstein sold huge.
No.
That Prey sold huge. That Dishonored sold huge. So this comment here, people say it all the time. And basically, in summation, Todd says, I said his first name. Todd Howard says,
He did. Like you knew the guy.
Yeah.
my bad. That was arrogant. He says people keep getting proven wrong about single player games. And I think that's fundamentally false. People don't get proven wrong just because a God of War comes along.
This is true.
Because a God of War comes out every 3 years. Let's be honest about that.
Do you think
every other game out there is tacked on with battle royales, multiplayer shooters?
Yeah.
That's where companies are making their money. And to say that's not true is PR speak. That is pure
Let me
PR
ask you this.
speak.
Do you think the standard, as far as video game companies go now, with sales, I'm speaking of sales, from a single player gaming experience, do you think they've tempered what they consider quote unquote good now? And it's no longer the millions of copies, but if a company releases a game and it's, barely approaching 1 million or whatever it is, it's good and we're going to have a sequel. Because like you said, Prey didn't sell well, right? But,
From all accounts,
But at E3, they spent 15, 20 minutes on new content coming to Prey.
I think
Yeah.
what I see is like
they brought out Dishonored 2.
when I'm reading this line,
Yeah.
You have the
thing.
expansion.
Yeah.
whenever I see this line, like I think what he's alluding to is like, look, to act like this will never be a thing. I was like, he is right. It is proven wrong. Like it's not something that is fading out of existence. It
But
might not be.
It is fading out of existence.
It may not be the number one
Who are
thing
you?
in the world. And I think he's like that. But I think he's saying like the idea you can't go make a single player game and it be huge is a lie. And he's like, if you put the time in, if you do the work and you're committed to it. I mean, like, look at this fall. Spider-Man is coming out this fall. That's a single player game. You don't need anyone to go. Everyone's going to want to play that game. Batman is a single player game. The Witcher is a single player game. These are all games that have come out and have done great. And I think, well, except for Spider-Man, but I think they do great because one, they have something that people want to try, and two, they have great studios who are pushing behind it. Fallout, Elder Scrolls, all those are great too, and I understand like with things like Dishonored and all that. Yeah, that's true, but Doom did great. Doom did fine.
It was your
when
game
it
of the
came
year.
out. So I kind of see it like
you just
I
said
think
great and fine. Great and fine. Plus, it was multiplayer.
Don't word pick.
yeah.
Great-
Now you're
great
just word
and-
picking.
Oh, come on, Chris. Don't be combative. I'm just disagreeing with you. It's fine. Great and fine are not what we need in order to prove the case that single player.
You need exceptional and
if you took away if companies just doubled down on single player and never made multiplayer,
Sure.
the industry would drop like a stone. Even if there were God of Wars and Witcher 3s.
Maybe. All right.
Maybe.
Look.
That's what I get as a
I
maybe.
kind of. I just
know,
look at it
Because
as I say.
you got the Bayonetta series doesn't sell. You got this Darksiders
going-
3
but
game
that's like
coming
a little-
out in December.
But
It's
those
not
are
gonna
like
sell.
those are things like this. I mean, to do it on the other side, you have things.
man.
Hold on, you have things like Fortnite that when it originally came out did not sell. You have things like Titanfall 2 that did not sell. You have that game by former dude from Epic who just shuttered it.
So let me, all right.
Things like that. There are things that
example
fail.
after example. Are you saying to me that single player games are a thriving thing in this industry?
I think they're doing fine. I mean, they're not. I would say.
Answer my question, yes or no.
I don't
Are
think
they
they're
a thriving thing in
The
this
way
industry?
you pose that question, no, they're not thriving.
I mean, are they dominating
That's
the industry?
all I'm
No.
saying.
I think you
And Todd
switched it.
Howard is saying that they're thriving.
I don't know.
That's what he's saying there.
I don't know.
Saying they're not dead.
I think he was
mean,
saying it's good and
Not
fine.
dead means I have a pulse.
Yeah, I think he's
Technically.
And I'm
saying.
lying in a ditch.
I mean, to me, he's just
I'm not
basically saying-
dead.
I think he's trying to mainly.
I'm under the weather.
I think
but I'm
one-
not dead.
I think he's mainly trying to assure his people, like, look, we're not doing what EA is doing. That's what he's doing here.
Yeah.
That's all this is. It's like saying,
John.
we're not about to go cancel all our single player games just because we think we have to meet a profit margin.
I can't
and therefore
wait
we're going to get
for the
biggest.
Bethesda tweet tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
All single player games have been
can.
canceled until further
Dishonored,
notice.
Done. That'd be funny. But no, like that's what he's talking about here. Is like, look, Bethesda is not going to all of a sudden come out tomorrow and be about canceling all these or being like everything has to be about extending it out online.
Well, maybe I didn't follow through with my point. In fact, I probably didn't. What I'm talking about with that board meeting, talking to Todd Howard, they're saying you need to push Fallout as a multiplayer game so this company can stop bleeding and hemorrhaging money.
Are they bleeding and hemorrhaging?
You have to at least admit that multiplayer games
Pay the bills? Sure.
sustain and pay the bills.
Sure. And I think he's basically
That's all
saying
I'm saying.
he's saying there's a balance and we're committed to it.
There's
Did you
no,
see?
there's
Did
no
you see The
balance.
Last Jedi?
Yeah.
There's a balance, sir.
Yeah, there is a balance. I don't know. I mean, like, I hope they
Greatest
don't become
movie
EA.
ever.
And I hope every company is like, just whether it be like, to me, Assassin's Creed, that's a single player experience. And it's a great single player experience.
I'd even say, they add the multiplayer stuff on the end of these single games,
Yeah.
but it's still a single player game.
I mean, like,
Sure.
And going back on what you said, if the whole industry just had single player titles, if it had top notch God of War titles, it'd be fine. But I think because of the balance, it needs to have the God of Wars along with the online experiences,
Exactly.
along with the little indie games and stuff like that. So
there will be things
Just
that
like-
fail and are not great on both sides. I definitely agree. Yeah, I get it. Like, there's going to be things that pay the bills.
Yeah.
Like, For Honor pays the bills so you can go out there and you can make something like Assassin's Creed because every month you get money off of For Honor. You can bank on it. On the other side of the coin, you know, if you're GTA Online is paying your bills so you can make the $500 million GTA 5 game.
Well, I can tell you about another single-player game selling well.
And it's paying the bills.
Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight sells well. Hollow Knight has been quite successful for Team Cherry. Co-director Ari Gibson revealed the Metroidvania game has surpassed 1 million sales on PC. This accomplishment comes only a year after its release. Since its release on Nintendo Switch on June 12th, the game has sold over 250,000 copies. Quote, we've never publicly mentioned hitting the million mark on PC, so that is another big milestone. We hit that 3 weeks ago, and it kind of flew under our radar because of the madness around the E3 Switch launch.
This is how Shaun is in my head. I'm doing show notes, and I write Team Cherry, and I go in my head, yeah.
Well, look, that just shows, look, it hit 1 million on PC, and it was a blip to them, and that it amazes me now that I'm becoming more of PC Master Race Junior guy.
Welcome to the club.
PC is amazing as far as the copies of things they sell, and they're going to rule the world.
There's
Does
a
this
part
mean
of me
it's only PC and Switch is the only platforms?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You would think it'd be on the Xbox.
I think I don't know. I think a Nintendo,
because of Microsoft and all.
It makes sense.
well, it's only 4 people. So that's probably also why.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, because they announced the Switch version a long time ago. And it took a long time.
Acronym for Ted, Ed, Mark,
yes,
and Adam.
There you go. Fun
Not
fact.
necessarily in that order.
Right.
Pokemon Quest passes 7.5 million downloads.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pokemon Quest, a free-to-play
killing it.
game for the Nintendo Switch and mobile devices, has surpassed 7.5 million downloads across all platforms. The game was released on May 30th, the same day that Pokemon Let's Go titles were announced. When released on Switch, the game reached 2 million downloads in 2 days on the platform. Congrats to them.
That's,
People are hungry for this.
Well,
I mean, people.
To me, that's
Pokemon.
That ties into the next news topic you're going to talk about, where I don't see how
I don't
they had
see
any
either.
concern.
I don't see it either.
Okay. Investor concern for Switch. At the most recent general meeting of shareholders, former President Tatsumi Kimishima. Did I kind of get that right?
You did.
Revealed that Nintendo had unannounced products in the pipeline that the company plans to release before the end of the year's holiday season. This comes after concern from investors about Nintendo's lackluster E3 announcements, which caused the company's stock to drop. The president also assured investors that the company would have no problem shipping 20 million units of the Switch.
Yeah, I don't. If somebody would have said, hey, after that E3 thing, people are panicking about the Switch, I didn't get that. I don't know why that would have happened. I don't know why the stock dropped. But then again,
I think
I'm dumb.
It's because they're looking and they're saying, like, well, the only thing you showed really was of really major note was Smash.
Do you know how big that game's going to be for that system?
Well, here's the thing, like, that's never been, and John can agree with this, I'm sure, like, it's never been their system. So it's never been the thing. It has its hardcore community, but that's like built into the hardcore Nintendo community.
But now that you have that game, where you can it can be a poop. You can battle on the poopster.
But I mean, if you look at it, if you actually go and you look at the stock, it's like, okay, you go back to the Wii U times, it's like here, and then Switch comes and it goes shing, and like, you know, for most of last year it just kept going up, and then about January of this year it started leveling off, and it's leveled down a little bit, but you know, it's not like crashing or anything. It's just like people are in this place like they don't know yet.
Well, now they want more games. Just get some more games.
I've learned in general not to take the stock seriously with Nintendo, because when Pokemon Go came out, Nintendo stock shot up because the industry didn't understand the difference between Nintendo and the Pokemon company.
Yeah.
I mean, the stock went down because E3 announced Smash, which we already knew was coming, but they talked about Smash and didn't talk about Pokemon Let's Go. Knowing that because the stock forgot that 2 Pokemon games are coming out this holiday.
Yeah.
If you can almost understand the frustration if I'm Kimishima telling the stockholders, "Do you not know what Pokemon does to our systems?"
Look, let me pull out this portfolio and show you what's going to happen. Just because we don't talk about it doesn't mean a thing. So calm down.
Why does
Calm
Pokemon primarily
down.
exist on the handhelds? Because it sells the handhelds.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, it might.
And with Smash, there's a list. I forget the order of the top selling Wii games.
Mm-hmm.
Smash was hitting above, I know, 10 million units for the Wii.
Yeah.
I don't know how it did for the Wii U.
Yeah.
I know
so, I mean,
it
like I said,
it moved
does
units.
good. But I mean, like, it's
Well,
not
10
like.
million units is not good.
Well, let's put it. I'm talking.
I don't want
like
to parse
for
your
them.
words.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Word picker.
I'm taking it more so the point. Like, it's never been one that sells like 25 to 30 million. It's not.
Nobody sells 25 to 30 million
New
copies.
Super Mario Bros. Zelda.
Name another one. Zelda doesn't sell that.
How many do you think? Like in its first year, more people.
25 million copies.
More
It
people.
doesn't sell
more
that.
people bought Breath of the Wild in its first year than they sold Switches.
25 million, Chris. I'm only parsing your words.
Classic
You said-
one's 20 to 25 million.
Oh my god.
But anyways,
I think we're splitting hairs.
yeah,
I think he's
yeah.
moving the goalpost.
I mean, the big one is, of course, Mario. And I would say probably the second one probably is Mario Kart. Those are probably your two biggest ones that push that platform.
There's a new Mario Kart coming out.
Ooh, that would be tight.
It's going to be out in November.
no
Then why don't you
need.
tease it? But anyways, like to me, like if I'm a consumer or if I'm an investor, you know, I understand why it's slowed down and why it's come down because you started off and you had a really big high the first year and now you really haven't had anything that's huge the whole year. And then on the other hand, you're starting to get these teases that the competitors are about to get ready to push their new consoles. And if I'm an investor, there is some concern there because you go like, okay, if these are probably coming in 2020,
What are y'all doing?
well, no, it's like these are all coming in 2020. You have to think like your console just came out in 2017, which probably means the earliest you're considering bringing a new product to market would be 2022, which basically means you're about to be in the situation that you kind of have found yourself in a number of times lately where the games are so advanced on the new consoles that they just cannot run them on a Switch. And that's a problem as far as certain things.
We could be diving very deep into what we
Yeah.
think. Cause the dude, John in the news article says products in basically parentheses or air quotes or what have you. We don't know what those products are.
Yeah, but we know they'll be very... Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, there could be more games. I'm sure there'll be more directs. But
Yeah.
the question is, if they had something that was on the level of Smash, right, they would have announced it by now. There's no question
You
about
think?
that. Yeah.
I mean, and it's just 1 year away from the previous
Sure.
E3 where we feel like almost they won the E3 in 2017 when they showed
Did we?
Metroid, and me and John did.
Oh, I thought Sony won that one.
But it's fine. People will process information and flip out so quick now.
Sure.
It's like if you think they're doing terrible, just go look at the 5-year plan. You'll see they're not terrible. They're just not as high as they were last year.
Yeah.
As long as the line doesn't keep going down precipitously, they'll be fine.
Oh, whoa.
It's not that big a deal.
Okay.
We happy few.
Yeah.
Australia recently banned classification for We Happy Few. While no official explanation was given at the time, they have now disclosed that was due to the portrayal of drug use writing in the classification review boards. Oh, sorry.
Writing.
Yeah, I did that wrong. Okay, they have now disclosed that was due to the portrayal of drug use. They wrote, in the classification review board's opinion, We Happy Few warrants a R18 class plus classification because the interactive drug use is high in impact.
No pun intended.
Right? In light of its recent approval and classification, Compulsion Games is happy with the decision, stating, we went to a great deal of effort to get this decision overturned. We are extremely pleased with the decision of the board and excited that our Australian fans and new players will be able to experience We Happy Few without modification. My guess is that after they were acquired by one Phil Spencer, he took a trip to Australia to talk to their ratings board.
He said, hey guys, I'm Phil
Yeah,
Spencer.
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm Phil Spencer. And
I mean,
this is
that's-
how this is going to go.
They were acquired?
Yeah.
Acquired?
Yeah.
Oh.
They bought them out. Now, this game is being published by Gearbox because that deal had already been cemented. But after this, they will be officially an Xbox TV.
There's a There's a viral video out there, and many
Does it got 1 million views?
By far. Many people remember the show Newsroom with Jeff Daniels.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this classic scene where he's at this school and some woman in the audience says, "Why is this the greatest country in the world?" And he goes on to this rant. Great television, by the way. Aaron Sorkin's very talented. Goes on to this rant about how we are not the greatest country in the world, and he goes into Sweden has freedom, Britain has freedom, Japan has freedom, all this stuff. And I'm like, great television. He was so full of crap. And I point to this. I point to stuff like this.
I was wondering
how did we get to this?
It's like Shaun right there.
You're
you know
constantly
that, right?
reading about Australia blocking games. You're constantly reading about in Canada people are being prosecuted for speech that they have.
But they did approve weed.
In Great Britain. In Great Britain, people are being jailed for speech. They're being jailed for it.
Yeah, but they got like stuff over there.
I wonder if there's a reason. I don't know.
It's just like I hear that stuff and I hear this. I mean, Australia is always in the way of releasing video games. They're always there's just like a headline out of Australia.
It was
3 or 4 times a year.
It basically happened, I believe, because like way back there was someone used it to basically capitalize on something that happened, and they just built it up and they pushed it through their parliament or whatever it is down there.
Yeah,
and now it's like kind of impossible to get it to a point to reverse course. It sucks.
I mean, from this perspective, I look at this board and I go, did you even ask for the context, or did you just react?
Maybe.
Obviously, this game is not celebrating drug use. It's raising a red flag to it.
Yeah, I was about to say, they look like they were pretty happy with it while they were doing it.
They're not celebrating.
Hence why they were happy.
Well, the people, the characters. But it's like, come on, guys. Tighten up.
It's one of those things where I'm sure it's like they're just writing based on, what the standard is there. Yeah. And that's what they do. And then I'm sure it also doesn't take them long to overturn these things too. Details on Mega Man 11. New details have been given for Mega Man 11. The time attack mode allows you to revisit stages and play them quickly as possible to try and top online leaderboards. The balloon attack mode runs on a timer, but it removes all the stage's enemies in favor of red and blue balloons. If you miss a blue balloon or hit a red balloon, his overall time will take a hit. Blast Man joins the ranks of Block Man and Fuse Man. Upon defeating Blast Man, Mega Man will receive the Chain Blast weapon that floats sticky bombs across the screen. I don't know why I struggled with screen.
I don't either. I just love that every person in the Mega Man world is something man.
Game of the year, man.
You think Mega Man 11 is going to be Game of the year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? I don't believe you.
I don't know, dude.
Because I don't think I've ever watched you play Mega Man.
Do you remember that one time we thought that guy who made Mega Man was going to make this really good game?
Yeah.
And we were all hype on it until the reviews and people started playing it.
I've played Mega Man 1, 2, and 3.
Ooh. So what about...
on the Game Genie.
What happened?
What about 4 through 10?
Yeah.
Plus all the other ones.
I played the one that they made for the Wii.
You would.
It wasn't very good.
You would.
I bet it wasn't.
You probably played that Metroid on the Wii too, didn't you?
Other M? God. Ugh. I had to listen to him as he played it.
There he is. Look at that look. Look at that look.
How did I sound?
Oh.
You were like this, but then then he left me. Remember the wonderful monotone acting?
The baby.
It left me.
The baby.
It hurt me.
The baby.
I didn't know what to do.
Slightly exaggerated.
Oh, God. Was it?
More content. Of exaggerated.
More content on the high seas. There are 3 more big content updates planned for Sea of Thieves this year. According to Craig Duncan, Rare Studio head, quote, "We've always talked about wanting to change perceptions of what multiplayer could be. One way you could look at it is we've done the really hard part. And now we've got this magical opportunity to take all the areas of the game, or to make all areas of the game richer. And beyond the hungering deep, cursed sails, and forsaken shores, there's going to be 3 more this year. We are trying to make amazing content as quick as we can, but obviously we're prototyping new mechanics."
Yeah, I got to give props to these guys, man. They're
pushing content.
Yeah, they're pulling an Epic, like they do with Fortnite, and they don't want to just stop. They're not settling for what they are. They want to constantly get better and have people enjoy their game, and you got to appreciate that.
I kind of want to wait until like maybe December and then see if like I can get 3 friends together and rejoin the.
I don't even have an Xbox anymore.
You still? Oh, I guess you don't want to do that sharing thing.
Oh, you're not supposed to call my bluffs out live like that, John.
I thought you were being honest.
He'll never be honest about things. That's the first thing. I know you.
Your hair looks amazing.
Thank you.
Assassin's Creed games could have multiplayer timelines.
Assassin's Creed could have multiple timelines. Assassin's Creed is known for sending players into amazing historical settings from around the world.
The best in the world.
But according to Canada's Executive Vice President of Creative, Lionel Raynand?
Do we have to kill
Raymond?
Do we have to kill a bunch of him in Zelda?
Future tech could enable a game to drop in on multiple time periods. We will have technology that will break the current limits of memory, for instance, because of new technologies that are arriving. We would be able to, in the same world, have several historical periods. For instance, Assassin's Creed in Assassin's Creed, and use the AMS to travel from one to another, or have different areas of the world linked by travel systems so that a Far Cry game or a Watch Dogs game could happen in 2 different countries in the same experience.
Or you could step from a Far Cry game into a Watch Dogs game.
That'd be weird.
Huh?
I'm confused by what Lionel said.
I think what he's trying to say is imagine us like an Assassin's Creed game where it's not just...
Don't read what he just said, Chris. Explain it to me like I'm dumb.
Okay, imagine like an Assassin's Creed, right? Instead of it just being like, we're going to Greece. And that's the only map.
We're going to Greece.
So you might start out the game and you have the open world map, huge map of Greece. And then
is Athens on
you
it?
Jump in time to say like, then you go to like 1,000 years later, you're going to, classical Rome. And then after that,
you might wanted you to know that he knew it was 1,000 years between
Zelda
those
already
time
did
frames.
this.
Yes. But then go forward even more. Go to then
and you pick up a sword and then it's
then like you jump to 1490
Dark World, dude.
But say then like you jump to 1492 and now you're in the open world of Spain. And
I gotta see Chris Columbus.
Yeah, you're gonna go say, hey, get the hell out of here. Go kill them peoples. All that kind of stuff. That's what he's trying to say. Like, or imagine like a Far Cry where you literally have multiple huge maps.
What I'm confused about is I don't understand why the current tech made it to where that couldn't happen.
Because right now,
you just make it happen.
Right now, if they were to right now, what he's trying to say is like, right now you can't do that to that scale. He could make a small thing, a sliver, but I think what he's talking about is like, imagine the true scope of the largest Assassin's Creed map was the last one. Imagine multiple maps of that size, completely open worlds in different regions of the world.
Didn't we go to different realms in God of War?
Suck,
and
man.
see how small it is?
You so
Remember how
suck.
small those realms were compared to Midgard?
No. First of all, say Midgard. Say Midgard.
Midgard?
I mean, it's just...
Yeah, we get it. You're dumb. You don't understand how the CPU
They're
works.
They're dumb. I do know how it works. I know what memory is. I know what he's talking about.
I think you're threatened by this because you don't understand how it works. That's why you're getting agitated.
There's a reason why Breath of the Wild did not have a Dark World. The way a lot of them, like Twilight Princess had the Twilight
Don't
realm.
you come at me like you have all of a sudden all this knowledge about how computers work, John. Because that will be that'll be the instance that I jump across this table.
I'm actually building it based on what Chris here just taught me.
Ooh,
you're building a computer?
But yes.
I would like you to.
No.
First, I'd like you to build a better internet connection, then we'll build you a computer.
We talked about the anomaly of John's house and how out of all the houses in the city he lives in.
I still believe
how he lives in the bubble
someone.
Where they all interlap or interlope or what's the right word?
See, I'm that alternate universe where
and
the internet
no
was
one
invented.
wants to be his guy.
Because you talk
pizzas delivered.
You know why? It's because you spoke so poorly of Al Gore. You said you don't get it.
Make fun of my internet again.
Yeah. See what happens.
See what happens.
Dead Island 2 is still
no
a thing.
internet.
Dead Island 2 still a thing. Dead Island 2 is still in development according to a tweet sent from the official account. That should tell you something.
That's a check mark. It's legit.
Dead Island Survivors, a mobile game, recently launched calling into question the existence of the sequel and whether it was still in the works. Dead Island 2 is still in development, and more details will be revealed at a later date. It was originally set for a 2015 release date. The game is set to feature seamless multiplayer up to 8 players who cooperate, compete, and simply coexist in a truly social new-gen multiplayer experience.
Cool.
New gen.
Yeah, new gen.
Cool, man.
It's
Way to go, Dead Island 2. Come on with it.
You get a game going that long in development, and you start to go,
Well, they got
for that kind of studio.
They got the tip off that the old Xbox is coming out in 2022, and they were like, new gen, yo.
I remember the trailer for it. It was this jogger running down the Santa Monica Pier.
Good.
And he was tone deaf to everything around him. The world
chaos,
turned into chaos, and he was slowly becoming a zombie himself.
Oh, he didn't have headphones on or anything?
He had headphones on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Darksiders 3 gets a release date.
Yeah.
Not much has been seen from Darksiders 3 since its debut last year. There was speculation that would be delayed until next year, which might not be a bad idea.
Do you want Darksiders, John?
Nevertheless, Darksiders 3 is set to release on November 27th for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Alongside the standard version of the game, there will be 2 premium editions. The collector's edition will cost you $150 and include the game, an 11-inch tall Fury figurine. That was weird. A premium... Oh, wait. Sorry. And the ladder for... I completely got lost.
11-inch tall Fury.
A steel book, an art book, soundtrack, and exclusive armor DLC. The Apocalypse Edition, meanwhile, runs at $3.99 and includes the latter 4 items, a copy of the game, as well as its own premium box, a 30x40 wall scroll, a 2-inch heavyweight amulet with necklace, and 4 figurines. And the 4 figurines of Fury, War, Death, and Vulgrim.
How sexy is that $3.99? Huh?
That's a car payment, John.
That's a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
I know. I want all 4 of those figures.
You like this game, huh?
Oh, I love these games.
Then I'm going to go ahead and say that you won't buy the Apocalypse Edition. You won't do it.
If you were a true fan,
if I want to get divorced,
you won't do it.
I will.
It's cool. Don't worry about it.
if you were a man,
Yeah. I mean, if you like it as much as you say you would.
I mean, yeah, you would.
I don't see how you could
You would
get
just
it,
go
but it's
tell
fine.
your
You
wife.
won't do it. It's
Are
cool.
you daring me?
Yeah,
You won't do it.
you
I'll
won't
just
do
tell
it.
my wife it was a dare.
Okay, you won't do it.
We just paid off our credit cards.
Wild West.
Very nice.
The Wild West comes to Fortnite. A stagecoach recently popped out of one of the rifts, supporting earlier data mine assets that we will be seeing a lot of the Wild West in the upcoming Season 5. Short of an explicit announcement from Epic, the Wild West motif is all but confirmed. There's ad speculation this is all leading to a time travel motif. And I have to say this is a little outdated. Literally right before the show came on, Epic dropped their teaser image, and it was it's like the Egyptian goddess. I can't remember what her name is, but it's like, it's kind of like a neon version.
Oh my God, you just played Origins. Come on, Chris.
I'll pull it up on IGN.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. I saw it on there. It started with like
a dragon.
And I guess she's like the thing is like she's also like the goddess of time or something like that. So everyone's
there it is right there, Chris. Teaser image.
Yeah, see. So
it starts tomorrow.
No. Oh yeah, well yeah, by the time they hear this, you're right. Good call.
Actually, I mean, can we just act like we're pros and we know that as we speak it is Wednesday?
I'm sorry that
and not Monday.
I'm sorry, I'm focused on how
I've
PCs
never agreed
work.
with this idea of pretending like it's not the present. I live in the now, Shaun.
Some people who are casually listening to this, like at their desk, and when we say it comes out Wednesday, they're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, it is Wednesday." What? Let's just help them out a little bit.
No, let's not.
You know what? You
have convinced me.
I guess it's supposed to be Bastet, is what they're saying, and I guess she has something to do with time.
Never would have got Bastet out of the information.
Don't throw her a ball of yarn, I tell you.
Because she looks like a kitty.
But yeah, I actually I played a little bit Saturday and was on there with Jeff and Mike.
Good for you.
And apparently this some friend of Holden that's like an online friend that was doing the classic, like, you remember these days, like, he just wants to be the cool, like, I'm an adult and I'm going to talk trash and all this stuff.
But you're 7.
Yeah, it was so fun. The best part is Kevin. He was trying to say how great his stats and everything were, right? So Kevin literally pulled up his stats and started reading them back to them. He's like, see, it says here you've got a .064 KD
John,
rate.
that means kill to death ratio?
And he said, like, okay, I see you've got 21 wins all time. Let's see. Let me pull mine up real quick. It says here I got 364 wins. Huh. Seems to be a little bit of
after a stat, John.
Yeah.
Makes me want to pull people's throats out.
He kept going and like just saying everything. And Kevin one point just goes, "Do you know what the definition of pathological is?" It was so good. It's been a while since I've right. Thank you. But finally this week.
You've already,
My balls are empty.
yeah.
Dang.
Well, he was low dropping on Darksiders.
He's too enamored with this.
Yeah,
He's
all done.
over there. He's still enamored with like wanting to share the world this wonderful Sarah Sanders photo that was found today.
Well, I sent it to Adam,
Yeah.
who I'm having dinner with later, and he said, "This isn't downloading? Is it your
That's fine.
wee wee?"
Is it your Richard, John, is the right way to say it.
That. I should have said that.
Why are you
Sorry.
dumb, dude?
I took a week vacation.
Remember things.
But finally this week,
Oh my god!
Wow.
solo record broken in Fortnite. A Fortnite player used the rocket launch viewing party last Saturday to break the game's solo kills record. With the rocket launch this week, Fortnite player Elemental Ray opted to use this truce to his advantage and laid out 48 players at one time by destroying a ramp holding all the players as they were viewing the rocket launch. One might consider this record to have an asterisk. I say no.
No, this isn't. I don't know, dude. It's kind of like the Barry Bonds home run record.
No, because
Yeah.
to me, it's a game.
They clearly are half of the population.
You
and it
didn't read nothing.
You're right. You don't have to agree, man, but it's one of those unsaid things that people were
Look,
watching. It was a big event.
Now
You didn't
don't give
work-
me.
You didn't work for this
Yeah,
record with any skill.
sure. Oh yeah, someone posted the perfect comment when this was first discovered, right? And he said, so the guy who now has the all-time match record in like kills in one match has a like 0.52 KD rate, and which is like terrible, just awful.
Do you want to at least be a 1-to-1, John?
Yes, exactly.
So 1.0 is where you want to be.
I do have to admire he spotted an opportunity.
And to be fair, like there are people that are pissed at the time, but like so many people
hilarious.
freaking record this, and when you died, you could just view.
So this is on
like
YouTube?
Yeah, you can watch the whole.
I gotta
So
watch
look,
this.
while I'll say it's a Barry Bonds,
Yeah.
I got to give the man credit.
Oh yeah.
sure.
I mean, like
That
that's
was a gutsy move.
yeah. This is bold.
Because you can build ramps in this, right, John? We've talked about it.
To the sky.
So imagine 48 people on this ramp, like watching this event, and then all of a sudden, oh no, I'm falling. I would love to hear their audio from whatever they were streaming or doing.
Wait, what's going? No.
There's no way. What?
This, like, and it's funny because you just see all these names pop up.
And when you die, John,
Elemental
weapons
is
go
knocked.
everywhere.
Yeah, it just says Elemental is
Weapons
knocked.
everywhere.
Knocked.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Going back to that game though, every time I do go back, I'm impressed just how much.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, Chris. It's really good.
I know you're threatened by it, Shaun.
I'm not threatened
It
by
stole
it.
all your friends.
It did not. You know why? I traded them for Josh Dalton, the greatest friend.
Shoot.
Ooh, dang.
I gotta go.
I'm going to let everyone know you said that.
let 'em.
Mike Slade and I guess are going to see DMB next year. Let's shut it down.
Hey, the Mexican joint is not going anywhere, and you haven't invited me yet. That's why we're taking our time.
Whoa.
You're having
You
Mexican
guys want to
tonight.
wrap this up?
Never.
One.
Psych your mind. Psych your mind.
No emails this week. No tweets.
We're not doing those
Yeah.
this week.
No, yeah, they do exist. So
John ruins everything.
No.
No.
John has an event he needs to get to, and we definitely don't want him to miss out of all the ridicule you're going to bring him. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope.
I got a book signing. I gotta get to.
Yes. You can see him in Cumberland Mall this weekend from 3 to 4 at your local Barnes and Noble.
That's right.
That said, if you want to email us and tell us what your top 5 games of the year are so far, and maybe what you're most anticipating for the fall, you can do so at weeklygameschat@gmail.com. We promise we'll get to them next week. Maybe we'll even lead the show off with them, go a little bit different order to make up for that fact, show everyone love, right?
We'll see. Yeah, we got some stuff on Twitter I want to talk about for sure. And yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
We're coming off a holiday weekend.
Yeah, I know.
John's got things to get to. Like he said, he's got an event, and I'm in flip-flops. This is weird.
Are
they technically flip-flops? They're more like sliders, the Adidas sliders with low-cut
I didn't think
socks.
they still made those.
Oh, they do. Go to Academy Sports. They got all colors.
Oh, okay.
Nike, Under Armour, Adidas.
That's funny.
Go England.
If you want to tweet us, you can do so at Weekly Games Chat. And if you want to find us on Facebook, you can also do that at Weekly Games Chat. If you like the show, subscribe to us and you'll get a new episode every Wednesday. If you're there, say on iTunes or Google Play, whatever it is, Stitcher, and they have some sort of review service and you like the show that much,
tighten it up.
Yeah, give us a rating and a review. Helps people find the show. As we always say, if you love the show, you should give us 5 stars or whatever the highest grade is. If it's 10, then make that 10. If you hate the show, you should make it 4 stars or whatever one step down from the highest amount is.
Because if you hate the show, you're still listening, dummy.
Exactly. You're apparently hating us for a reason. Until next time.
Yeah.
I will simply say, game on, Shaun.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, both of you.
Game
Shaun
on, Jonathan, with your new haircut and creases in your arms.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. You rule.
Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Thug life.
Yeah.